Hello and welcome to the Murrells Inlet Marshwalk. In the past few years, I have ventured here and picked up footage for you all to enjoy. So, since it's springtime and the weather's starting to get extremely comfortable, it's time for me to come down to Murrells Inlet and take the complete walk all the way from Wicked Tuna, the restaurant, which is located at the Crazy Sister Marina, and we're going to walk the entirety all the way to Bovine's restaurant at the far north end of the Marshwalk. So if you're not familiar with the Murrells Inlet Marshwalk, it's not in the city of Myrtle Beach. It's actually a few towns south from Myrtle Beach. If you jumped on Highway 17 and drove south, you'd go through Surfside Beach, Garden City Beach, and you'll find yourself in Murrells Inlet. Murrells Inlet obviously has what you're seeing in front of you, a very large inlet that extends into the ocean. And with it, you get scenes like this with boat docks, inlet side restaurants, and of course, the Marshwalk, which is well worth the excursion southward, about 20-30 minutes, depending on the traffic and time of year, to visit this location and walk it and enjoy the scenery, especially if you have a dog in tow. You'll notice in this video a lot of dog walking occurring on the Marshwalk. As I mentioned, several restaurants on the Marshwalk. This one is the Claw House. If you're interested in this specific restaurant, there is a video of this place on the channel. Check it out. Also, if you've ever watched the show Tanked, about the people who make really expensive, fancy saltwater aquariums for businesses, they actually have an episode with the Claw House, and there is a very large, not a reef tank because there's no corals in it, but there's a large saltwater aquarium in that restaurant. Hey, it's the brew boat, the infamous brew boat. You see that thing right there? It is what some would say powered by alcohol. If you look closely, you'll see the individuals riding on the brew boat are actually pedaling like a bicycle. This powers the boat and sends it through the inlet. Meanwhile, of course, they're partaking in brewskis. Hence, the brew boat. As we continue down the Marshwalk, to the left is the Dead Dog Saloon, a Murrells Inlet staple for several decades. And we're shortly coming up on a new section of the Marshwalk. You can see a fresh wood right there. It looks like a structure coming up on the left. But first, let's just take a pan over here. That is a pier that extends from Wicked Tuna, which is right over yonder, that building over there. That's the Crazy Sister Marina and Wicked Tuna restaurant. Pier extends from there out into the Marshwalk, gives you a lot of nice views and fishing opportunities. Also, if you're interested in renting any of the boats or paddleboards, things like that, there are business signs along the Marshwalk that tell you what number to call or what website to visit to partake in those adventures. Alright, so this is what I said, the new section. This is just a refurbished section of the Marshwalk. Still smells of fresh wood. And that's Creek Rats. That is, what would I call that restaurant? It's a solid restaurant. It's not the most amazing place you'll ever eat, but I do frequent Creek Rats because they're consistently good. Not amazing, but consistently good. Now, if we look over to our left, there is an island, an infamous island in Murrells Inlet called the Goat Island. Oh, there's the sign for the brew boat right there. Right over there, that island, that is the Goat Island. We'll get closer to it later, but basically, goats live on the island during the warm months of the year, and it's kind of a spectacle. if you're on the water, you do a lap around Goat Island, you point at the goats, you take pictures, that sort of thing. And I love this. Anytime you're at the inlet or the waterway or any water sport around here, you're going to have a dog or two that's really the real captain of the boat, and that dog looks like he is in command. To your left, you see some pontoon boats. You can rent these for, I believe they have 4-hour, 8-hour sessions, and it's going to run you a couple $100. But, you rent a boat, you bring yourself some lunch, you make a afternoon out of it. It's good times, especially on a day like this where it's not too cold, there's a steady breeze, and the sun is shining. Beautiful day. As we proceed further down the Marshwalk, you'll see a lot of the businesses I mentioned earlier where you can rent boats, jet skis, paddle boards. You can rent fishing boats with their own captain that'll take you out deep sea fishing. A lot of good stuff down here. And more restaurants, of course. I like to use the Marshwalk as a storm barometer. Anytime there's a major hurricane or we have major storm surge in the area, I always like to go down to the Marshwalk or talk to someone who lives near the Marshwalk and find out how high the water level is, because the Marshwalk itself is a good indication of how bad the storm surge is depending on how deep the Marshwalk gets. So as we're walking along this decking, just keep in mind that more often than not during a bad storm, this thing is underwater. And here's a quick look at the J. Peters Grill and Bar menu. Just ahead of us is the previously mentioned Goat Island. I don't think we'll be able to see any goats. Can you see any? This camera I had with me this day does not zoom. But with my naked eye, I did spot the goats. Do you see the goats? And again, here's some jet ski rentals. Always a good time. As we proceed, there's a few more restaurants coming up on the left. There you go. Like I said, if you're ever interested while walking up and down the Marshwalk, the businesses have their signs out with phone numbers. But if you're really interested in chartering one of these vessels or tours, because they have sunset cruises, things like that, just Google them. Just Google Murrells Inlet, Marshwalk, and tours or boat rentals or whatever you're looking for. It's probably the easiest way. Always the easiest way. Just hit up that Google. That's Wakatuna down there, and another shot of the pier that extends from the Crazy Sister Marina. Really nice views today. Really, really nice views. As we turn this corner down some more fresh wood on the Marshwalk, you can smell it, it's so fresh. You can see in the distance that is the terminus of the Murrells Inlet Marshwalk, the north end of it. So, this journey took about 12 minutes to walk from one side to the other. So if you ever want to get just some fresh air and a brief walk, maybe walk the dog, walking from one side to the other and back. If you do it, at a reasonable pace, it's a good half hour of fresh air and getting a great view of the inlet. And that's the main reason I like the Murrells Inlet Marshwalk. All right, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this as we end our journey in front of Bovine's Steakhouse. If you want to see more content concerning the Murrells Inlet Marshwalk, check out the channel and the playlists. There are some videos of restaurants along the Marshwalk and POVs, walks, and storm damage from over the years of this area, all on the channel from previous visits. And I'll probably hit up another restaurant in the near future since it's warming up and it's getting nice out there. All right, until next time, everybody, take it easy.